Buckley swings it far side for Mensah. Fire, score! Zach Mensah! The game is over! Zach Mensah!
This is Talking Sense, exploring the week that was, storylines, and what to expect, with the voice of your Merritt Centennials, Mantar Bandal.
We got ourselves a 7-game series between the Merritt Centennials and the Penticton Vs. Hello and welcome to today's edition of Talking Sense. I'm your host, Mantar Bandal. The Centennials winning games 5 and 6, both by 1 goal. Man, what a series we've got. And we got a game 7 coming up Monday night at the South Okanagan Event Center at 7 o'clock. Well, again, going to be a shorter version of Talking Sense today, just 2 segments. This one, and then we'll have Fraser Rogers, the voice of the Penticton Vs, come on in the next segment. Without further ado, let's explore games 5 and 6 for your Centennials, shall we? Game 5 on that Thursday in Penticton. Man, a back and forth game. The Centennials never trailed that game. It was a very, very well played game. Centennials got things rolling 5 minutes in, courtesy of Cade Gleekle.
Shevsky can't clear. Now Gleekle has a chance down low. Gleekle a shot from the shot. Mango scores! Cade Gleekle! The Centennials open the scoring! Cade Gleekle! His third of the postseason, and the Centennials strike first tonight.
After the Vs tied it up later in the period, Zach Zorn got the go-ahead goal right near the end of that first period.
Bluler makes a nice move at the top of the dot. Bluler far side for Fernandez to the blue line for Buckley. Back for Fernandez on the far half wall. Near front for Bell. A shot. Somebody with the scores! Zach Zorn! The Centennials get a power play goal and retake the lead.
In the second period, the Centennials would make it 3-1 before the Vs would make it 3-2. Then Zach Risto at the 16-13 mark made it 4-2 for the Centennials, but then just moments later, Jared Nash made it a 1-goal game once again. Game went into the third period, 4-3 for the Cents. The Vs tied it up at the 11:33 mark, courtesy of Grant Cruikshank, before the Centennials got the game winner.
Far side, Ryland Van Unen through the neutral zone. On Tyler Ward moves in. Ward gains a line. Ward centers a Van Unen scores! Ryland Van Unen! And the Centennials have regained the lead! Tyler Ward for Ryland Van Unen. It's in the back of the net. The Centennials have a 5-4 lead here with just under 7 minutes left to go.
Ryland Van Unen, who had been a healthy scratch in the games leading up to this, rewarded his coach with the game-winning goal, and then all hell just broke loose in the last minute of the game. The Centennials just couldn't clear their own zone and somehow managed to hang on.
Down low for Clack. Henry Cleghorn takes that away. He'll try to clear off some time in the corner. Now Bluler takes it. He can't clear it though. Puck kept in by the Vs. Now Cleghorn takes it. He can't clear it. Puck kept in by the Vs. Gabe Bass has a shot blocked. Near side, the Centennials head to their own zone. 13 seconds left. Bass a shot wide of the net. Far side, Miller holds it in. 10 seconds. A shot blocked in front. Rebound in front. Now a chance. They get a shot off, and it goes into the corner. Another shot goes through the crease. Far side, Miller. 2 seconds left. Miller in front for Bass. Shot. The game is over. The Centennials win.
Fitting that Brett Jewell took that off the side of the head right at the very end of the game. Centennials won 5-4 in game at number 5, forced the game 6 back here in Merritt. And man, oh man, what a crowd for game number 6. 1,080 people lining up in the seats at the Nicola Valley Memorial Arena to take in game number 6. And man, oh man, what a game it was. Not a 5-4 game, a 9-goal game, but rather a much closer game. In the first period, the Centennials got the game's first goal.
Number 6 between the Cents and the Vs. The Vs currently have the puck inside the Centennial zone, but it comes outside. Zach Zorn to the right side moves in. Zorn gains a line, has a shot, it scores! Zach Zorn! The Centennials open the scoring! Zach Zorn! His third of the postseason! And the biggest goal of his career, Zach Zorn opens the scoring, and the Centennials are up 1-0 here in game number 6.
Zach Zorn, his third of the postseason, second of the series at the 17:23 mark, made it 1-0. Then the Vs would tie it up in the second period.
It's iconic. Up ahead for Armstrong. On the half wall, Clack moves down the left side. Clack drops it for Gashevsky. Has a shot, scores! What a shot by Matt Gashevsky, and this game is all tied up. Boy, a dangerous high-scoring chance for Gashevsky, and he wires it home from the top of the dots.
Matt Gashevsky, just a rocket from the high slot over the glove of Jake Berger, the only one that would beat him, tied things up. Third period, no one scored, but man, oh man, lots of hits, lots of shots. The teams had over 80 shots combined heading into overtime before my greatest goal call of all time, Tyrell Buckley, the game winner.
Metza up ahead for Fidanza. Now Amante has it for the V's. Amante moves in, gains the line. Amante drops that there. Puck taken away to the Centennials. A chance for them the other way. Mike Regish down the right side moves in. Regish hits the trailer man. Buckley, a shot. Scores! Tyrell Buckley! The Centennials have forced the game 7! Tyrell Buckley! We're going to game 7, baby! Monday night in Penticton, a 7 p.m. puck drop. Tyrell Buckley puts a top glove on Matt Robson. The Sens win! The Sens win! The Centennials win! Tyrell Buckley! 10 minutes and 23 seconds into overtime. Tyrell Buckley! Oh my goodness! The Centennials win! The Centennials win! Do you believe? Do you believe?
Oh, just what a game. The Centennials forcing a game 7 with a 2-1 overtime win in game number 6. So game 7 on Monday night at 7 at the South Okanagan Event Center. Man, Jake Berger was absolutely fantastic. Made 47 saves on 48 shots. Both teams combined for 100 shots. Well, we got ourselves a series. We'll have Fraser Rogers, the voice of the Penticton V's, come on the show next to talk about game number 7. You're listening to Talking Sense. I'm your host, Mantar Bandal.
Welcome back to Talking Sense. This is segment 2 with the voice of your Merritt Centennials, Mantar Bandal.
The Merritt Centennials coming off a big win in game number 6 and number 5 and have forced a 7-game series. Hello and welcome back to Talking Sense. I'm your host, Mantar Bandal. Into the final segment of the show we go, and we're joined by the voice of the Penticton V's. It's Fraser Rogers. Fraser, how's it going, my friend?
Not bad, sir, considering the circumstances. The sun did come up, and it's a new day. But, yeah, not doing too bad. Thanks, Mantar.
Fraser, I think one thing is very smart about the way these two teams, rather Penticton, handled the layout. If Game 7 had been today, I don't think the V's would have wanted that. I think it's fitting that there's 2 days off before Monday. Do you think these 2 days off will give the V's a chance to kind of just hit the reset button a little bit, just relax going into Game 7?
You know, I think it would be. I think, 1 day off for sure was perfect for the V's too. I'm not too sure if that's ideal for them to have a full 2 days off, but maybe it might be good to kind of press that reset button for 48 hours before Game 7. I know I was actually chatting with Nick Jones, the captain. He said, I'd love to play Game 7 the day after Game 6, but he's such a fierce competitor, it's almost to a fault. But I think a full day off was perfect, and I think actually having 2 days off is perfect for the fact that you can have a day of not even thinking about hockey, the 1 day off, and just do a team activity, get away from the game, and then the Sunday, you start preparing for the Monday, the Game 7, but the Saturday is a time just to get away from the game for a bit and just focus on yourselves as a group, feel good about yourselves, have some fun, and just don't think about hockey, really. I know I actually talked to Joe Martin about this after that heartbreaking Game 4 loss for the Centennials when we went down 3-1. There was a day off between Games 4 and Game 5, and Joe Martin said, actually, it was perfect for us because it got away from hockey. Had a nice team meeting, had a short practice, then got out of the rink, went away from the game, did a team bonding activity, had a lot of fun before dialing it in for the game day. So I think that's what the V's would do as well, is just get away from it, get away from your family, get away from your friends, get away from Twitter, whatever you're looking at that's, to get you a bit distracted about some of maybe, not negativity, but people are talking about, this wild run that the Merritt Centennials on, and coming back from a 3-1 deficit and just having your teammates with you, your close friends, and your brothers, as you like to call them this time of year, and just hang out, have a good time, and then dial it up come Sunday night, get ready for Game 7 on Monday.
Fraser, one thing that's been interesting is so far in this series, the team that scored first has gone on to win all 6 games. The Centennials have scored the first 3 times. They won those 3 games. The V scored first 3 times. They won those 3 games. How important is this first goal in game number 7, my friend?
Well, I think it's worth its weight in gold, really. I think it's a psyche thing right now because these two teams, I know despite the 30-point difference in the regular season, they match up so well against one another, and I think the team that's trailing will have so much difficulty trying to come back because it's such a close checking series, and it's hard to play catch-up hockey, Mantar, any time of year, and especially the stakes are so high in the playoffs when The emotions are at the ultimate high, and it's a tough road, especially against teams like Penticton and Merritt, who pride themselves on protecting leads. Merritt's a team that's, I think, a lot better than they looked on paper in the regular season. I don't want to say I told you so, but I was quick to tell anybody that asked me. Merritt's record in the regular season didn't really show how good this team was. When you look at it on paper, the depth up front and the goaltending of Jacob Berger, I thought would be way more consistent come playoffs, and here we are. And this team is hard to come back from. They just play a heavy game, 4 lines that can go out there and play at any time, and they have, I think, a really good top 4 that is underrated when it comes to looking at the defenses around the league. What you're getting out of guys like Aaron Murray and Tyrell Buckley and Zach Metza and Zach Bluler, these guys have been horses, and Mike Faulkner, that's 5 guys right there. So I think when it comes to this first goal that you asked me about, a long story long, as I like to say, it's going to be just a mental thing to feel good about yourselves. I think it's huge for the Vs after games 5 and 6 and how those went, that, yeah, they need to have, a good feeling about Game 7 and having a crowd, which should be a big one on Game 7 as well at the SWC, to get them involved early and get an early goal. Look at Games 1 and 2 that they won. They scored early. They scored 84 seconds into Game 1. They scored less than 3 minutes into Game 2. They won those games. Game 4 that they won in Merritt, that was a goal 9 minutes into the game. So it's all before that halfway mark of the first period. So, yeah, that first goal is going to be worth a lot.
Game 7 is something that a lot of kids, whether you're Canadian, American, European, whatever the case is, you grow up on that pond, playing in that backyard rink. Game 7, who scores the winner? Everyone dreams about scoring the winner in game number 7. Nerves-wise, these are two teams that are, have some veteran leadership, but a lot of young players as well, especially the Vs, considering the changeover from last year. So nerves-wise, Fraser, if you were playing for the Penticton Vs, let's say you were playing on the Vs right now, going into game 7, how do you keep your nerves in check?
Great question. It's one that, I can't answer. It's only going to be up to those guys, in the dressing room. They're going to hit the ice on Monday, and it's the same for the Merritt Centennials. And that separates from the winners and losers for Game 7. I think it's that handling the moment. You talk about it, the cliche saying about growing up and dreaming of a Game 7 and being the hero. And I've been a part of a few Game 7s. With the Penticton Vs now, and it's a different game. And anybody that wants to ask me, it's not your regular game. I know it sounds cliche, but it is a different game. It's almost like a different series within a series, and it brings out the best, or it could bring out the worst in someone, depending on how they handle pressure. You could crack, or you could rise. And there's some guys in the Vs right now that I think are learning the pressures of playoffs, and younger guys that made some mistakes that they probably weren't making in the regular season because the stakes are so much higher. So when you look at a Game 7, it's like, who can handle that pressure? It's funny because the last Game 7 the Vs had, it was the interior final in 2015, a short side note. They win the game 2-0 against the Vernon Vipers in an all-time classic. The game-winning goal wasn't scored until about 2 minutes left in the game in a 0-0 tie, and it was their defenseman and co-captain Patrick Sexton, a guy who would score every leap year, basically. He was not known as a scorer. He just fired a puck on net for the blue line that actually knuckled in off a Vernon Viper and over the goalie's shoulder, almost like a pop fly in baseball. And that's the game-winning goal in that Game 7. So it's plays like that are going to probably make it or break it. So the Game 7 itself, it's going to come down to who can mentally handle the pressure and the expectations when it comes to winner-take-all. It's the guys that are game breakers and clutch players, and we've seen it on both sides. There's some big-time players in the series. Nick Jones for the Vs has been terrific, I thought, in this series. Guys like Tyler Ward have been fantastic, and Stefan Seeger for the Merritt Centennial. So it's going to come down to who can handle it, who's going to rise to the occasion, and it basically is going to be a fantastic night.
Well, Fraser, one thing's for sure. One team will be moving on, and one team will be going home. I can't wait for Game 7. Thanks so much for doing this, Fraser. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mantar. Appreciate it, and we'll talk to you Monday.
Fraser Rogers, the voice of the Penticton Vs, who the Centennials play for game number 7 Monday night at 7 o'clock at the SOEC. That's a wrap for today's edition of Talking Sense. In case you missed your earlier editions, or earlier segments rather, you can find this online at Centennials blog at q101.ca. For Talking Sense, I'm Mantar Bandal.